It's been about 2 months since I ran my first marathon, and I've been getting a surprising amount of questions asking me how to train for one. So while everyone's training plan will probably look slightly different, I'm going to tell you how I did it, and maybe there's going to be a few takeaways within this that you can apply to your own program and hopefully get you across the marathon line. Now, if you're new here, you might not know who I am, and in which case let me tell you a couple of things. At the age of 31, I can tell you that I've spent the majority of my life not running. In fact, I've only just crossed the year line myself. I'm definitely what you would call a slow runner. We like to call them plodders. I'm normally one of the guys at the back, but ever since starting my own running journey, I found a love for it, and I've been really enjoying documenting it on YouTube and Instagram. Since I've got a background in personal training for nearly 8 years, I'm now actually a running coach as well, which if you'd told me that 2 years ago, I'd say you got a screw loose. But here we are. Oh, and last thing, I promise, if you are here, please drop this video a like, and if you're new, you should probably subscribe as well. Just hit the button. Thanks. So look, a marathon is 42.2 kilometers or 26.2 miles. It is, by all accounts, a fucking big distance. It was created because some guy did it and died. That's how long of a distance it is. So how do you train for it? Well, this is what I did. My marathon block basically started the moment I finished my first half marathon, which was March 19th earlier this year. I actually made a video on that. You should go check it out. So essentially what that means is I was building up from about 21 kilometers. As a general recommendation for marathon prep, you should probably build your long runs up to about 33 kilometers. 30 to 33 anyway. That's a good rule of thumb. So I had one job, add about 12 kilometers to my long run over the course of about 12 weeks. It was quite a daunting task, but we did it. So these are the runs I completed each week. Monday was my fast run. Over the 12 weeks, this was either a combination of interval training, hill training, or just a fast 5K, maybe sometimes a little bit longer. We like to keep things relatively simple here. Wednesday was the long run, which I will give you the details on that in a minute, because as far as marathon prep's concerned, I'm pretty sure that's the most important one. And then on Saturday was the easy one. Some call it the recovery run. I think it's just a really good way of getting some easy miles in, and it kind of tops up your weekly amount with some easy ones. So for me, that ended up being anywhere between 5 and 10 kilometers. Nice and simple, nice, easy, slow, conversational pace, that type of deal. We call it plodding over here, which actually, if you're interested, plodding is unique. Plodding is not a training method, it is just a vibe. It is a way of running that is not just easy. Yes, it's relatively slow paced, but we're also chilled and focused on having a good time as well. You can stop for snacks, you can stop for as many walk breaks as you feel you need, and you can even take photos while you're out as well. It's kind of what we're all about here. Now, back to the business end of the running, the long run. Let me just say that what you plan to do and what you end up doing can sometimes differ. Now, what I planned to do was add a certain amount of distance to my long run each week. Again, aiming for that 33 kilometer mark around 2 weeks out. That was the goal. And for the most part, it was going well. Each week, my long runs kept going up and up. I went from 22 to 24, made a huge jump to 27, but that was the same week as doing a triathlon, and I built up an insane amount of fatigue and ended up crashing, burning, and wanting to not do it. And this is kind of where the problems set in. The week after doing a 27k run, I went to add a little bit of distance to that and try a 28k. This was about 4 weeks out, and I was just so fatigued from everything I'd done the week before. I think I got about 13k in and just bailed on the run. If there's one thing I feel the need to stress, it's you need to listen to your body during marathon prep. I hear a lot of people pushing through boundaries and pushing their bodies to the absolute maximum, as if a marathon wasn't the maximum anyway. So serious recommendation, if your body is telling you to stop, fucking well listen to it. So I did, and it ended up good, I promise. I finished the marathon and didn't get injured, all is good. The following week, however, so I took that week to recover, all was good, listened to my body, relaxed, all great, right? The following week was peak week, and if you don't know what peak week is, it's the week where the most amount of miles get done. It is the hardest week in any form of like event prep. And that was the week that I was going to attempt my biggest ever run of 30 or 33 kilometers. I won't go into details, but I had a very upset stomach. That run did not happen. That week did not happen. I was so ill. I was pretty much bedbound for about 2 days. To say that this was an ideal end to marathon prep was probably just so far from the truth. So what did happen? Well, fuck all actually. I obviously wasn't able to do my peak week, and instead I was actually having to go into a taper after being ill and, in my mind, severely undertrained. But I was being assured by people that I knew that had run marathons that I would be absolutely fine. My biggest run to date was about 27 kilometers, and all I needed to do was eat well, keep the legs ticking over, stay healthy, stay injury free, and I'd be fine on the day. If you've seen my other video of where I go through the ins and outs of the actual day on my marathon, you'll know that I finished it. And I think, considering how the last 4 weeks of my training went, I think I did a pretty good job of it as well. So look, a bit of a shorter video, but those are kind of the basic bare bones of how I got myself from half marathon to marathon. I would suggest that you approach it with caution, but what I would say is that if you're able to dedicate some of your time to running one, go get it done. It's a great feeling finishing a full distance marathon. If you've got your heart set on it, give yourself enough time to train, maybe get a coach, someone that can help you get there, preferably without injuries, and just someone that can take all the guesswork out of marathon prep, especially if it's your first. But genuinely, get it booked. But we're going to leave it there. I hope you got value out of this video, and I hope that this has kind of set you off in the right direction for your own marathon prep. I'm going to ask you one more time, if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, that would mean the world to me, because I want to be delivering value to the lot of you, really. And I can do that better if you're subscribed. If you are currently prepping for your first marathon, drop me a comment below and let me know when that is. I wish you the best of luck, and go get it booked.